Yakov beretz Mitzrayim 17 shana, and Yakov dwelt. He lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. Vayechi me Yakov shnei chayav sheva shanim v'arba'im u'me'as shana. And it was the days of Yakov, the years of his life, 17 years and 140 years. Vihekshe Ohr Hatorah Bereishis, and the Ohr Hatorah HaKadosh asks, and this is what he says: V'yesh lanu lachkor zos. We need to look into this. Lama shina hakasav seder mispashnos of shel Yakov. Why did the Torah change the order and number of the years of Yakov? Miseder alakoch b'mispar shnei tzadikim, and from the order of years that the tzadikim are usually counted. Shemakti mispar gadol lemispar katan. That usually prefaces the larger number to the smaller number. Ba'Avram ksiv me'as shana v'shivim shana v'gomer. By Avram it says 100 years and 70 years. B'Yitzchak ksiv me'as shana u'shmonim shana. By Yitzchak it says 100 years and 80 years. B'Sarah ksiv me'as shana v'esrim shana v'sheva shanim. And by Sarah it says 100 years and 20 years and 7 years. But here it starts from the other way around. Sheva shanim, 7 years, v'arba'im shana, v'arba'im u'me'as shana, and 40 and 100 years. Vayim b'Zohar Parshas Vayechi, Tav Kuf Kaf Gimel Amar Aleph Benyin Shnei Chai Sarah, and look what it says in Zohar Vayechi about the years of Sarah. The me'as shana b'china Eliona Yoser, that the concept of the 100 years is a higher level. Al derech mea brachos chulu ayin sham, like the concept of 100 blessings. Look over there. And maybe a possible answer that Ohr Hatorah says is that it prefaces the smaller years, that they were the end, that in those years he was living peacefully and good years, as opposed to the rest of his life. Haga also gam lahavin hamedrash abal Habalatorim, also to understand the measures that the Balatorim brings. David HaMelech alav Shalom, Asa Kuf Mem Zayin Mizmorim Bitilim, Kenyan Shnos Yakov, that David HaMelech alav Shalom made 147 Mizmorim in the Tehillim, like the years of Yakov, 147. Ma Inyan Mispar Mizmoris Tehillim Mispar Shnos Yakov. What's the connection between the number of the Mizmorim of Tehillim to the years of Yakov? Also to understand what it's brought in Zohar Vayishlach, that Yaakov gave from his years. He gave 28 years to David HaMelech, Avraham, that he should have lived 175 years like Avraham, and he only lived 147. David, because that he was missing the 28 years that he gave to David. Yain Shamad Kanaga. Then we can first preface what's brought in Zohar Chayech al pasuk for Avraham Zakain Babayamim. Avraham became old in days. Was old and came in days. Uvdoi krivule b'chol yoma medarga ledarga chulu. That his actions brought him close every day from level to level. He went up every level from day to day. Yukadein babayamim, and therefore he came in days. Binun yomin ilayin, he reached these supernal days. Binun yomin yedian, in those known days. Biraza demehem nusa, in the secret of emunah. Haga ubizohari chama pirush yomini lain hemamidus ha'elyonos, and so the Zohari Chama explains that the supernal days are the supernal attributes, the midos. V'chein mashma b'zohar chelik gimel parshas shmini daf mem aleph amud aleph al pasuk ohev yamim liros tov. B'zohar Vayechi daf reish chav tal amud aleph mashma. So too it explains in Zohar in the verse that he loves days to see good. And in Zohar Vayechi daf reish chav tal amud aleph mashma kayal yamim shel ha'adam. It implies That's the days of the man. So the concept of Ohev Yamim Liros Tov, that's the days of man. That you love to see good. That's the number of your years. Ubemedra Shabbat Parshas Chayes of Parsha Nunches Al Pasuk VaAvraham Zakin Baba Yamim Tafaste Umanusi Dahinu Gemilus Chasadim Bo Levush Levushi. That Hashem says to Avraham, you grasped my work, that which I do, which is kind acts, Gemilus Chasadim, come and put on my garment. And that is to say, Matnas Kuna explains, because it says by Hashem that the Ancient of Days sat, so the fact that Avraham became old in days is, so to speak, the garment of Hashem, that he, so to speak, is ancient in days. That this concept is called my garment. And that it's compared to a king, that the people in the Bira, they made him a gan out of the some kind of garment that they so ginu means they made fun of him, of the king's garment. So to these wicked, so to the wicked that reached the Atik Yomin, like by the Nevuah of Zechariah, where it discusses the Rishaim Lasit Lavo. So, according to this, come and take and put on my garment is the concept of that he became old in days. That it's a concept of a glimmer of the supernal days, Atik Yomin, to the Ancient of Days. Therefore, it's called my garment truly. Like it's explained in Tanya, where it talks about the woman of valor as the crown of her husband, that the root of the garments of the mitzvahs are drawn from the concept of keser, that they're the concept of atik, of keser. Look over there. And therefore the garments are made specifically from the days and the mitzvahs and the days that surround, because the days are rooted in the 7 lower levels of Atzilus that are called the days of the world, the midos, and they're rooted in all the way up in the days of Yor, the days of old. That those are the 7 lower attributes of Atik. That they are called, his garment may be blessed, that he's enclothed in. He himself, so to speak, above is enclothed in, because it's a higher level, so it's, so to speak, more of his clothing himself, even though he's obviously beyond any midos. Zun shehem hazmanim zayin shabbosos zayin yamim. So in the Me'oreor, it explains that you have the order of times. What does it mean that there was an order of time before creation? That refers to Zan Nukva, that's 7. That Za is 7 midos, and Malchus that's 7 shabbosos, zayin yamim 7 days, zayin shanim 7 years, shiva shmitos 7 shmitas, shiva yovlos, and 7 Yovels, that's the order of 7s. Yair Nesiv He'ir Mazor Parshas Pinchas, and in the order there, the Yair Nesiv awakens us to the Parsha Pinchas and Zohar, Dafish Nudal Amud Aleph, Gabi Ve'alda Be'shvu Sichem. And about this is the verse in your making weeks, in your sevens, Minyana da Atun Monin, to the counting that you count, B'inun Sheva Shabbosos. In these 7 Shabbases, Ukedain Mashich Kutchabrichu Mashichu, the Sheva Dargan de la Elah, and then the Holy and Blessed be He draws from these 7 levels above, Bahu Darga de Lasata, to that level below, this Ached B'inun Sheva Shabbosos, Hadikon Lashono, that unites with the concept of these 7 Shabbases. So you have a concept of drawing down from 7 Shiva Dargan de la Elah into the level below, Darga Lasata, to be united with his Sheva Shabbosos. So you're drawing down the Cha'ora from the Sheva of Atik above to the Sheva Midos below. That's Shavu Osechem, the 2 Shevas. Nimsa Lefiza, so it comes out according to this. Shorish Zayin Yamim, Hemamidus Datzilos, Shehem Nikra Seder Zmanim, that the source of, that the root of the 7 days are from the emotional attributes of Atzilus, so to speak, that they are called the order of time, before time in Malchus. That's Moshe and Malchus. Paramaz Perush Ki Sisa, Parshas Ki Sisa Daf Kuf Peches Amud Beis Perush Ki Or Shiva Sayamim. So the Ramaz in Parshas Ki Sisa explains that the light of the 7 days, Shehem Zayin Midos Ta'atik Chulu, that they are the 7 attributes of Atik. That's the Or Shiva Sayamim, that, like we said here, that you draw down from above into them. Mamer Zal Shayu Seder Zmanim Kodim L'chein, that you have this statement of our sages that you had the order of time beforehand. L'chein V'shorosh Seder Zehu Ba'atik, and therefore, and the root of this order is in Atik, Shu Zayin Tzavos Chulu Ad Ganashono, which is the 7 directions, 7 points, 7 sides. That's another quote from the Ramaz, that basically says again that you have the Zayin Midos Mushush and the Zayin Tachtonos of Atik. Therefore, according to this that it says in Medrash, that Kodesh Baruch Hu says to Avraham that because you did Gemilas Chosadim, did my acts, my umanusi, come and take and put on my garments, and that's because the infinite may be blessed is completely beyond time. And in order for him to be the root for the order of time, and that's through him being enclosed in the concept of Atik. That's the source of the source and of the root. That's the source of the root. That's the root of the source for him to be the root of the order of times. And that's called the light of the 7 days, the concept of Atik, so to speak, the garment, in order for Kodesh Baruch Hu, Ein Sof Baruch Hu, to be enclosed within time at all. It's the source of time, or Shiva Sayami. That's the Levush of Atik. Lachein Perishabo Levush Levushi. Therefore, it's the explanation of come and put on my garments. Shalidehi Yos Bechinas for Avraham Zakin Baba Yamim. That through you having the concept of Avraham becoming old in days. Nimshach Alav Levush Mebechinas Atik Yomin. You draw down a garment onto him from Atik unto Chesed Vatzilos. Vainu Aidei Kiyuma Mitzvos. And that is through the fulfillment of the mitzvos. You draw down this makif, K'mayim Lazal, like our sages said there, Tafasta Umanusi, that you've grasped my my work, my career. Valpi Zayish Lefarish HaMedrash Parshas Nasub Hashir Gimel, and according to this, you can explain the Medrash Rabbah V'ayin B'Parshas Korach B'Matnas Kuna Shamasher Tarach Osios Yesh B'Eseras HaDibros, that you have 620 letters in the 10 Commandments, that corresponds with the 613 mitzvos with the 7 days of creation. At a first glance, what do the 7 days of creation have to do with the 613 commandments? And why not the 7 mitzvos d'Rabbanan? What's with the Seras HaDibros and the 7 days of creation? But according to what we explained, it makes sense because the 7 days of creation are the 7 lower levels of Atzilus that are called the days of the world. And according to the Ramaz, these are the 7 attributes, supernal attributes of Atik, Shemanikra or Shiva Sayamim, that they are the light of the 7 days that you reach through doing the mitzvos, V'kiyum Taryag mitzvos, Shemehem Nasim Levushim L'Nefesh, and the fulfillment of the 613 mitzvos, from which are made the garments to the soul, Shiaval B'chinas Bo Levush Levushi, that you'll come to the concept of come and put on my garment, Shishor Shomatik Yomin Kanal, that's rooted in Atik. So because you did the mitzvos, you're come and put on the garment, which are this comes from these 7 days. Therefore, it's 613 day mitzvos with the 7 days of Bereshis. And that is the 620 pillars of light of Keser, corresponding with the 620 letters of the Aseres HaDibros. And we can say the 613 mitzvos are the concept of man, and that's the concept of arich, which is also called man, the concept of the length of countenance, I guess. And like the Arizal explains on the verse that you'll make peace between man and his friend. What is Adam L'Chavero? That's arich and ziranpin, the lengthy countenance and the small countenance. So here we see Adam is the concept of arich. So the Taryag mitzvos are arich. And then you have the 7 days of creation, and that corresponds with atik, that are enclosed within arich. So that's, I guess, come and put on my garments. In that context, I guess the garments would be arich in comparison to atik. Another reason we can say about the days. So all of this is to explain the concept of Yakov, who starts with the 7 days and the 140. So he starts with the 7. And it's because all the other avos, like by Sarah, the larger number usually refers to the higher concept, but over here it's the smaller number that refers to the higher concept of Dafka with Yaakov. Even though we're talking about Avraham coming into the Yomim. And the concept of the tzror to be wrapped up in some kind of bag, that's the concept of the mitzvos. Like the concept of I'm like a supple cedar that you can use as a catapult. That's brought in the concept of tshuva. That when you do tshuva, it's like you bend it all the way back and then you shoot up the catapult to go all the way up. Tzror is like tzror here is like this stone in the in the slingshot. And this reflected light that you'll bring yourself up, the supple cedar to back to its source, Bechinas Anochi, that's the concept of Anochi. That's at the end of days, because we're created in days, we're formed in days. So if we bring it back to the place where we're formed, it's back to the Yomim. So that's Baba Yomim. And that's also the days of our years are 70 years. Which is 10 times 7, this high concept of 7 days. And in the end of the days, you have this reflected light that you go back up to your source. Or just like in Malchus, at the end of the days, of the supernal days, you have a reflected light in Malchus of notes. Sofim B'tchilasam. And how do you have this reflected light from the days? It's through all the days being complete. And then from the gradative process, you have this reflected light because you went through all the days and came down to the bottom. And like the statement, then will be at the end of days, like in Yeshaya. Or Ketzayamim, or in the end of the days, Achzeu Ketzayamin. But this is the end of the Yamin, the right side. I guess because it comes from Gemilas Chosadim and the mitzvahs. V'tamod legoralcha Ketzayamin. Look, what about this idea of the reflected light, about the double bread? You have this a double measure because of the reflected light. So that's again all the concept of Vayechi Yakov Sheva Shanim. That we begin with these small years, and then it says V'arba'im u'me'as shana is in one swoop, because the concept of that's just one big number, but the small number here refers to the higher concept.